Hello, all guys, gals, and non binary pals. Welcome to the newest episode of the Noobs and Knockouts Podcast, taped on Twitch and brought to you on YouTube, on Spotify, on Google and Apple Podcasts. I'm Austin. I'm a knockout. Watch a lot of wrestling.
I'm David. I'm a noob. Haven't watched nearly as much wrestling, and I am very interested to see what sort of controversies arise out of this time out after our first ECW episode had Tommy Dreamer being gasp a virgin, and this time out, or the last time out, everybody just turning, looking at the camera, and saying, actually, fuck the NWA.
Yeah, this has been an eventful story arc, if nothing else.
It's been wild as shit, dude.
As we return to ECW 1994, specifically the October 4th, 1994 episode of Hardcore TV.
Ooh. Oh, it's so fucking extreme.
It is now officially Extreme Championship Wrestling.
Yeah, I just really need to emphasize the fact that I'm still not over that they did an on-air shoot rejection of the NWA. They rebuked the NWA live on air, and it was real, and they got like a quote from one of the NWA guys, and it was real, and I still can't wrap my head around the fact they had the balls to do something like that. That is such an insane move, and the fallout, it must have been nuts.
Oh yeah, it was the NWA again. Basically, became culturally irrelevant immediately. Again,
Jesus, that's hysterical.
So, what has been going on in the last month of ECW TV since our last time here? Well, it's been extremely filler.
Of course it has. God damn it.
Yes. So, to be fair to them, I think that there might have been some real life circumstances that kind of caused this. Is that they announced early on there was going to be a big September 17th arena show for ECW. Not like a themed show that they would put out on VHS, like Hardcore Heaven or Heatwave, but just a big arena show that they were kind of building to. And then because of renovations to the ECW arena, it had to be rescheduled to October the 1st. And so this show is going to be dealing with the fallout of some of the stuff that happened on the October 1st Super Show, including kind of our big event of the evening, Tommy Dreamer versus the Sandman and I Quit match was on that show. However, storyline-wise, they basically kind of just sat and spun their wheels till they get to the extra couple of weeks.
Why?
Don't know, but that's basically what happened. Is they set up the matches for September 17th, and then it got moved back to October 1st. So they're just like, we're just gonna keep hyping the matches for October 1st.
Guess we'll die.
Well, what can we do?
Yeah, I mean, I guess filler's the best option there, but you could at least do like interesting filler.
No.
Really. God. You just became Extreme Championship Wrestling. How do you not come up with interesting filler to be all extreme?
No.
No heart emoji.
No, I got nothing. Yeah, no.
God damn it. Okay. No you weren't kidding when you said this is going to be a stupid short front half.
Yeah, so this is a quick reminder to everybody where we're at is that I think I passively mentioned this last time, but it was through these series of episodes they officially showed the match from the NWA show for the tag team titles, where Public Enemy, after Terry Funk pulled out of the show for reasons I don't really know, I couldn't really find out what happened there. Cactus Jack needed a partner. Tommy Dreamer stepped up. The Public Enemy put him through a table. And then so Mick Foley, then Cactus Jack, grabbed Mikey Whipwreck as his tag partner, and then they won the tag team titles from the Public Enemy.
Wait, Oh my god, that's incredible! Wait, Mick
Mhm.
Foley and Mikey Whipwreck teamed up together? That is the most magical thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. And so we've gotten a couple of promos of Cactus Jack and Mikey Whipwreck together. And it's basically Cactus Jack being a lunatic and suggesting that they're basically going to die doing crazy hardcore shit. And everybody's like, sure. I'm going to die. And then Cactus Jack going, but he likes it. He really likes it.
Yes. There's nothing more beautiful in a partnership than the power of extreme coercion.
Mm-hmm, pretty much. And the Public Enemy are like, we are gonna kill. We are now extra super mad that we're not tag champs anymore. We don't know how to.
I feel like the Public Enemy keep just having these reasons to get increasingly incensed,
Yep.
and they're just gonna explode one day from sheer anger.
Yeah. So they're still hunting the tag titles from Cactus and Mikey Whipwreck.
Mikey.
Yeah. Shane Douglas has Mr. Hughes is apparently not here anymore. He apparently doesn't work for ECW anymore because he hasn't shown up since the NWA show. So it's like, And instead, but don't worry, Shane Douglas has a replacement. Doink the Clown.
No fucking way.
He has grabbed Doink the Clown and then he threw his gimmick away to show that this shit don't fly around here. And now he has been redubbed as Born Again, as a play on the fact that Doink the Clown's real name is Matt Bourne. So he's born again. He wears like half face paint, and he comes out in like flannel.
Okay, so a quick sidebar. I was informed by Daniel that there have actually been multiple Doink the Clowns throughout history.
There have been. Matt Bourne is the OG.
Okay.
And the best Doink.
Why have there been multiple? Was Doink
because
the
Matt
Clown
Bourne got fired or quit? I don't remember which one it was. And then they were like, but WWE was like, we still want to do Doink, so we're just gonna have somebody else.
So essential Doink. A character.
Yeah, they're like, we're just gonna recast Doink. How about that?
So, are there? When did this Matt Bourne no longer being with WWE thing happen? Is this concurrent to Matt Bourne now being Doink or Born Again on ECW?
They dumped Matt Bourne in 1993 as part of the character transition away from. Doink the Clown was originally an evil clown who liked
I know that
make kids cry, and then post, I want to say like WrestleMania in 1993, so that's like April, he became like an unironic, like babyface, happy, make the kids laugh clown. Okay. And Matt Bourne wasn't about that shit. And so basically, like after they cut Matt Bourne and then replaced him, that's when Doink became like silly, goofy child shenanigans. Character.
Okay.
Matt Bourne's the only one who's ever played him as like kind of a sadist.
And now he's back as like real Doink.
Well, first, long enough for ECW to say, get that Doink shit out of here. Yes. Now he's just a super serial dude.
Okay. Super serial guy.
Yeah.
Yes. Amazing.
Yeah. So, and then Shane Douglas, he continues to talk his usual shit. I mean, you know what he's talking about here.
I wonder if what he's talking about could by any chance rhyme with Brick Brayer.
Yep. Or Bulk Bogan also has stuff to say about that guy.
Bulk Bogan. I forget. Did he have any rants against Mandy Mavage?
No. It's mostly Hogan and Flair.
I see.
And Too Cold Scorpio is still challenging for the title for the ECW title. He's kind of just like, man, that shit with the NWA was whack. Anyway, I guess I'd like to try again.
Too Cold out here being like, oh no. Anyway.
So that's still going on. Dreamer and Sandman. I guess I'll save them for last because they're the focus of the episode. In the TV title picture, it is still Jason as the ECW TV champion. And he coming out of the NWA title tournament, he's got a new goon.
Oh,
Dean Malenko is now aboard Jason's is posse.
what? Dean Malenko seems like a bit of a get for Jason.
He
What?
is. He's a bit of a
Can?
get for ECW.
Okay, yes, yeah, okay, yeah. Then even more so, what the fuck conspired to make Dean Malenko a Jason simp?
They were like, "What's a good way to bring in Dean Malenko?" And they said Jason Goon because it's kind of that was what they did with lower card heels in ECW in '94. Is you stuck him with Jason.
How the fuck do you wait? How do you classify Dean Malenko as like a was he not big at this point?
I mean, he's easily the best wrestler in ECW,
Oh,
but
but he's
like
not
he's
a
never
name.
had any sort of major. This was
Okay,
his kind of his. This was kind of his first breakthrough. Before again, as I've mentioned before, WCW Cruiserweight division in '96 is basically ECW mid card in '94.
fair enough.
So he's kind of this is kind of his first big break in a way in wrestling. So he's not there yet.
I see.
But he is being used to basically like he is a shooter. That is what they say on commentary, that he is a shooter, and he is basically what him and Jason run a bit where Jason distracts the referee before the bell rings. Dean Malenko puts the guy in like a dragon screw, or otherwise just kind of fucks his leg up, and then the bell rings and Jason wins in like 30 seconds.
Jesus. Okay.
And he is starting to get is the Tasmaniac is not he ain't about this kind of injustice, brother. So him and Malenko are set to cross paths eventually.
Oh shit,
But
buddy.
that's also Jason fired Rockin' Rebel. Basically, in a match, Rockin' Rebel tried to interfere to help Chad Austin beat Chris Benoit, and he messed it up, and Chad Austin lost. And after the match, Jason kicked him out of the group for it. So, babyface-ish turn for the Rockin' Rebel, who had no character besides being a goon for Jason.
And he did a face turn because he's a fucking loser. You know what? That sounds about right. Jason, the clearly the smartest, most talented, most dignified wrestler in this entire roster. He does not tolerate failure, y'all.
No, he doesn't.
He rules over the goons with an iron fist. Malenko, beware.
Yep. And then Chris Benoit has been getting featured in matches a lot because he's also signed with ECW coming out of the NWA title tournament. It's the same thing as Malenko in that he is like the best wrestler here now automatically.
Oh God.
So he's just like getting featured matches, and he will probably start challenging for titles soon, relatively. But right now, he doesn't really have a storyline going or anything. He's just showing up to win and show how awesome he is at wrestling.
Was he big by this point at all?
No, he's in the same spot as Malenko.
Okay.
Some international notoriety in like Japan, but in terms of America, no one knows who these guys are.
Fair enough.
All right, let's get to Sandman and Dreamer.
Oh boy.
Which is also not really progressed, but they're about to have an I Quit match. And I think thematically works really well from where they left off storyline wise, because in an I Quit match, you win by making your opponent say verbally that they quit. It is no rules. You can do whatever you want, but that's the only way to end the match.
Gotta say, I feel like character-wise, thematically, Sandman's on a little bit of a back foot here.
Mm-hmm.
Dreamer's whole thing seems to be building up to never quitting, never backing down from the fight. Thank you, sir. May I have another? I'm still not over the fact that he fucking said that.
Yeah, great words.
Beautiful.
So Sandman got a promo with Woman, and Woman was basically like, you're not going to quit, are you? You better not quit. You better not quit.
You know what? At this point, I almost feel like Woman should look. I know it's U.S. wrestling in the year of our Lord 1994,
Mm-hmm.
but I really feel like Woman should really be the one going up to bat in ring for this. She seems to have far more of an investment in this rivalry than Sandman ever fucking does.
Yeah.
Sandman just kind of over here, like, begrudgingly being like, "Ugh, yes, dear." Whereas
he
Woman's
does,
like, "Get him, fucking get him."
he does
Tear his head off.
he does repeat his line with Dreamer of like, "You see what I gotta deal with here, Dreamer?"
I don't understand why. Why is one of our top heels right now portrayed as just a pussy whipped dumbass?
Because that's extreme.
That's extreme. That's extreme. It's extremely boomer to be like, I hate my wife. That's what's fucking extreme about it. Damn, we got some extremities for everybody around ECW, baby. Do you extremely hate women? Well, have we got the
have we got plenty of storylines for you?
Yeah. Do you... Oh man, Sandman's so cucked. Anyway,
and Tommy Dreamer gets a promo where he mostly does because rah like, I'm never gonna quit. You should see what horrors I'm gonna do to Sandman to make him quit. And
I might kiss him.
Which he also, speaking of kissing, he addresses this consistent character thing he keeps doing where he kisses woman against her will. And I hate to bring out the old noted babyface card, but I feel like I have to bring it out for this because he basically says, like, I don't know what woman expected was going to happen. She kept getting in my face.
Yeah. Understander of sexual politics, Tommy Dreamer just thinks that she's asking for it.
Yeah, she's asking for it by standing there.
Why? No, I don't think Ric Flair had any agency in the harassment of flight attendants. Why do you ask? I mean, it was their fault for existing.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, whipping your dick out or on the helicopter, on the airplane. That's just fun. That's just fun shenanigans, you know.
It's fun. They were in the way of Ric Flair's cock, dude. It's not his fault.
Yeah. So yeah, this is just very only in 1994. Can we make this the babyface trait thing?
I don't think it was only in the year 1994, Austin.
Okay, well, it wouldn't work now, is my point.
Maybe you pop over to somewhere like CYN, it might still fly.
I'm just controlling my narrative by forcing myself on women. So
I'm controlling my narrative by pretending like CYN doesn't fucking exist.
Hey, whoa, man, whoa. What do you do when you're controlling? How do you control your narrative when your narrative is that CYN doesn't exist?
It's the ultimate paradox. We're ripping a hole in space-time itself.
Yes.
Oh god.
Anyway, so Dreamer and Sandman gonna have an I Quit match. That is the big match on tonight's show.
Exciting stuff.
So that does set up everything for tonight. If you would, again, is the October 4th, 1994 episode of Hardcore TV. If you would like to watch along with us, there is Peacock. It is on WWE's streaming service. However, we have been watching ECW redubs that redub in the original music because ECW uses a bunch of licensed music that they didn't license. And also,
shockingly doesn't take too kindly to that.
Yeah, weirdly, they edited that part out. WWE edited that out. I don't know why.
Put in like elevator music. Ugh.
Yeah, whatever generic music they had on hand.
God.
I think the big thing. I think they do are like guys who are in WWE. They always use their WWE music.
Okay, well that's fair at least.
Which is fine, I guess. But probably the best option among many bad options.
Yeah, better than the fucking elevator music we heard in the WCW episode from What's His Nuts.
Oh yeah, from Ernest the Cat Miller with his bad fake James Brown, which was his theme was already kind of fake James Brown.
Jesus Christ. It was so that will always be burned into my brain of just like it felt like I was listening to I don't know, but it killed several brain cells having to listen to that really bad elevator James Brown knockoff at home music.
Mm-hmm. But yes, if you'd like to not listen to Alice in Chains at home, then if you Google, the ECW Restoration Project, ECW redubs, it's all in the Internet Archives. Basically, they have redubbed the entirety of hardcore TV in its existence and most of ECW's major shows, pretty much all of them that exist on home video release.
Be sure to check it out. It's good shit.
Yeah. So we will be back in the back half to discuss hardcore TV for October 4th, 1994. And we are back. We have just finished the October 4th, 1994 episode of ECW Hardcore TV, main evented by Tommy Dreamer versus the Sandman in an I Quit match.
And on this most esteemed episode of ECW Hardcore TV, we had a bit of a mystery set up for us from the get-go.
We did. So we'll just go ahead and get started from the forward on to go ahead and talk about it. It starts with Joey Styles outside in the hospital, outside of the local Philadelphia hospital, claiming that, tonight somebody finally went extreme.
To the extreme.
And they should cut to the intro.
Yeah. And that's where we are. Speaking of the intro, something I have to point out off the bat about this that was kind of cracking me up is, now that we're Extreme Championship Wrestling, they have a voiceover atop the intro going, "This is Extreme," and I have to say, kind of a weirdly tame yell to start to like open up your show that's now Extreme, to be like it was like it was like a yell, but like it lacked this grit, and it was like this weird open mouth like, "This is Extreme," and I was just sitting there like, is it really? I don't know if I'm entirely convinced.
Sound extreme, but
I don't know if I'm entirely convinced. I need arguments. Apparently the argument is that someone went to the fucking hospital, but again, we'll get to that later.
Mm-hmm. The intro video is now just a bunch of clips of the heart of the craziest shit that happens on ECW with the Thunder Kiss 65 as the theme song, because Rob Zombie is very extreme.
I mean, to be fair, that one's a pretty fair assessment. Rob Zombie's a pretty fucking wild guy from everything I know about him.
Mm-hmm. So Tommy is basically Joey Styles promises that we'll have updates throughout the night, but he's not allowed in the hospital. So he's got a report out here, but all the wrestlers are at the hospital.
Also one more thing from the intro to correct a bit of information from our front half. Apparently, Mr. Hughes actually still exists? ?
Yeah, I kind of thought he didn't, but I guess he kind of does, and that's weird to think about. I was like, where's he been? Where's he been? He hasn't been with Shane Douglas in 3 weeks.
So he just got fucking canned by Shane Douglas in favor of Doink the Clown. That
I don't think that says anything good about Mr. Hughes' capabilities. That Shane Douglas will take Doink the Clown over him.
Oh, sorry, not Doink the Clown. Born Again.
Yeah, I'm sad he wasn't on this episode so we could talk more about Born Again.
Oh my god. I can just imagine Mr. Hughes being like, "Doink got this one over me." Ooh, that one hurts. I'm gonna have to live with that one for a while.
Yeah, you have to really think about his life about that one.
He's like, man, where the fuck do I even go from here?
Yeah,
do I just die?
Yeah. So we cut straight away to the first match of the show, which is an ECW Television Championship match between Hack Myers and what a man, what a mighty good man, Jason.
Indeed. And the shooter, Malenko, is over here to be Jason's personal simp, as you do, doing his best pre-Alberto Del Rio cosplay.
You got the towel over here.
Yeah, sure. It's not quite a silk scarf, but you get the gist,
like a real shooter.
Yeah,
He's a real fighter. So he doesn't interfere at the start, and they explain why. Is that Todd Gordon, after weeks of Dean Malenko doing this, is like actually sat down and said, "Hey, dude, how about you stop?"
Yeah, Todd Gordon is literally like, if like you keep interfering, and if you interfere anymore, you are banned the fuck from ringside. And Todd Gordon and his periphery continue to say, "This is the Extreme Company." Except, please don't break the rules, please. We're very serious and dignified.
It's extremely against the rules.
It's. I am extremely disappointed in you, Dean Malenko, and you will get an extreme timeout if you break the rules again, brother.
I do respect an authority figure that actually cuts down on heel cheating bullshit. Because most wrestling authority figures do not attempt to fix it.
They do not give a shit, but I find it deeply funny that it's Todd Gordon, the president of Extreme Championship Wrestling, the one that's supposed to be like lawless and gritty, is the one that has the guys being like, now don't you do that. Don't let me don't I see right. Don't do it.
Hey,
don't fucking do it. Extreme, except you follow the motherfucking rules, pal.
Goddamn right you do. So Jason and Dean ostensibly agree to this, but then also Jason whispers to Dean Malenko, so they're not gonna.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, Hack Myers and Jason have a match. Admittedly, the crowd is super into Hack Myers beating Jason's ass. So
wow, shocker! The strongman beating up the prissy boy is over as hell in the 90s. Whoa!
At one point, Joey Styles calls Hack Myers the hacker.
Yeah, Myers is about to be over here on fucking hacktyper.net going like, I'm breaking in, boys.
I'm in.
Also, I really appreciate. So Jason has like a rose in like a little like plastic wrap.
Yeah.
That he's brought with him to the ring. And at one point, Hack Myers just grabs the rose and is like, "Fuck this flower, yeet!" and just chucks it the fuck out of the ring.
Which is very rude because those flowers were clearly for Jason.
Well, now they're for the audience. All right, I'm here for the some people say fuck them kids. I say fuck them flowers. All right, get rid of them. Every last one. What do you think this is? Some kind of flower show? This ain't.
You had a bit and you let.
Hey! What? No! Wait! I can do a reference here. What do you think this is? Brutus Beefcake's talk show? Because
he had the barbershop. At Adrian Adonis had the flower shop.
God damn it! No! Fuck! I got my blonde dudes mixed up. Shit! Yep. Fuck! No.
Beefcake had the barbershop.
No, you know what I meant.
I did.
God damn it! I was really proud of that one.
A for effort.
A for yay. And just like Hack Myers says, "Fuck this flower," Malenko shockingly says, "Fuck the rules."
Yeah. Well, first I would like to point out that Hack Myers and Jason are wearing the exact same pants.
Are they?
I mean, they had the same like gray patterned pants on.
Damn, that must be why they're beefing. They showed up in the same thing, and
it's a fashion faux pas known throughout the world.
True, and I mean, what better way to settle said fashion faux pas than in the ring?
I mean, as we've established, there's nothing you can't solve with a match in the ring. That's how all things are settled.
All things are become better when you fight them out in the ring. This is true. Many people are saying this.
Yep. But yes, at one point, Jason distracts the referee, and Dane Malenko chokes Hack Myers with his towel.
Yeah.
And that is enough to pin Hack Myers. He doesn't even get hit with another move. He just gets choked out with a towel and is like, all right, goodbye.
And Joey Styles comes on commentary to say, "You can bet that's the last time the shooter is going to be in the corner of Jason." And I could just hear the narrator in the background. This is most likely not the last time the shooter is going to be in the corner of Jason.
Narrator, it wasn't.
It was not. It was not. In fact, the last time.
Yeah, but we're not going to get anything
Joey
on
Styles.
that.
Joey Styles joining his boss on the. I know this is extreme, but you still got to follow the goddamn rules, pal. Train.
Plus, he also hates Jason. So
this is true. Joey Styles just has those fucking personal vendettas that he makes very apparent. It's kind of funny. I love announcers just having like personal. That's my favorite type of like announcer editorializing is like, you know, they're giving good match analysis, but they also just take time to have their just like pet fucking arch rivals and just hate some people out of complete spite. Like those don't comment intelligently on their matches.
Yeah,
they're kind of be like, God, I fucking hate that guy.
Like also though, Jason, fuck him. I will pay somebody to beat him up.
Yeah, Styles really not a fan, but either way, yeah.
Yep. And then this is a very light episode for promos because a lot of promos are just Joey Styles giving status updates to kind of reiterate the mystery aspect of it.
Yes.
So in terms of actual content, there's a lot of ads too.
Yeah, there's also a very light episode for local ads, which I will say on one hand, they're like advertising cards, which I don't think I've seen them do up to this point, which, you know, cool. Progress in legitimizing your wrestling company. That said, where the fuck are my goddamn weird and silly and dumb entertaining local ads that are
for me it's half the fun of watching old ECW this way at this point.
No, he's got to see the same like this is tonight's card. Oh, this is next week's card.
Yeah, they're advertising like for upcoming local events. And they're advertising.
I don't want ECW in my hometown. I don't want it in any hometown. I don't want it in any hometown unless that hometown is showing their fucking local ads on your TV show.
Yeah,
fuck out of here.
We only got one Carver W. Reed ad at the very end of the show.
I know. We did. I will say we did get a Heatwave '94 VHS ad, and the announcer was that Styles who was announcing for that.
Yeah, Styles does all the voice.
Yeah, it was Styles who was announcing for that ad. And I gotta say, Styles is just like screaming throughout this entire ad. He's like, Heatwave '94, the biggest, baddest, most money thing you've ever gotten. You can have it on home video right now. I feel like that was the energy we needed for the This Is Extreme thing at the beginning of the intro. And then we needed the This Is Extreme guy to be the one advertising Heatwave '94 so I could like understand half of what the fuck he was actually saying. Because it feels probably to be like Heatwave '94, come get the baddest, most bloodiest, blah 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 blah, and you know have This Is Extreme in the intro. But I think they just like kind of mixed up their scripts at some point, like the two voiceover artists, and nobody wanted to say anything. They were just too.
No, we couldn't afford another take, so we're just gonna have to.
No, you know what? That's what this is. Who am I kidding? This is ECW. The problem is they couldn't afford another fucking.
We're just gonna have to go.
They go to Paul, and they're like, hey, can we get another take of that? He's like, yeah, totally. I'll line that up right now. And then he goes to fucking Todd Gordon. He's like, send that shit to air right now.
We're gonna air this.
We're gonna air. Fuck.
Yes.
But yeah, anyway.
In terms of actual content, we can just move right on to match 2, where Dean Malenko, after we do get a lengthy video package that replays Dean Malenko and the Tasmaniacs fight from the week prior.
Yeah, and we just see Taz like yeeting Malenko, like Styles is losing his shit because Taz broke a submission hold that Malenko got in him and then reversed it for his own submission that Malenko could not just fucking bring. And Jason is over here, now interfering on Malenko's behalf. And I found it really funny because we just get Jason like coming up and just like kicking Taz.
This is the best he can accomplish.
Taz looks completely the fuck unaffected. Just like this ineffectual kicking his Taz, like, what the fuck you doing? I'm hurting your boy. This is doing nothing. Stop embarrassing yourself. And I have to wonder, ineffectual kicks on your enemy. I have to wonder, maybe this is why Taz hates Orange Cassidy so much. Like, he sees Orange Cassidy's like fake kick spots nowadays, and he just gets like war flashbacks to Jason trying to like kick him on Dean Malenko's behalf. He's like, ineffectual kicking, my least favorite thing.
Yeah, I hate that.
I hate that fucking. It's all a projection. He's like he's on AEW commentary going, oh that fucking Orange Cassidy, I fucking hate that guy, and just like in the back of his mind, he's sobbing just remembering the disrespect that Jason showed to him. He's like, why did he have to do that to me?
All he can see is Jason.
All he can see is just my poor broken boy.
Yes. But so, yeah, but Taz mostly kicks Malenko's ass until the locker room empties out to pull these two apart while Joey Styles...
Oh, wait, not yet. No, that's... I don't think that's...
No, they do that both times. I think they do that. I'm pretty sure they do
times?
that both times.
I thought they did only the one.
No, I'm pretty sure they do both times that we see it.
Oh,
But eventually, we move to Malenko's match, where he is fighting two of the dudes who helped fight them off last week, Don E. Allen and Dino Sendoff.
Yes, I totally remember who those are.
Despite being a despite being a 2-on-1 handicap match, Dean Malenko kicks both of their jobber asses in like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was a squash and a half, dude. It was hysterical.
The only note I made on it is that Dean Malenko pinned Donnie Allen while Dino Sendoff was just watching him do it.
I know.
Because he was leaning against the ropes and just watches Malenko pin his partner.
These are men of class, Austin. They understand that the rules are extremely important.
Except it's a 2-on-1 handicap match. It wouldn't have been against the rules for him to do that. Break up the pin. So he's really just lazy or dumb.
Probably both. No, I think it's classy, personally. He's showing that rascal Malenko how it's truly done, and he's getting the moral victory.
Really, I think the only upside of this match is that in what little time we do get to it, is Joey Styles uses this opportunity to put over Dean Malenko. It's like you only see these kind of handicapped squashes with like big giant dudes, not guys the size of Malenko. He's just that dangerous.
It was a nice little touch to get Malenko a little bit over. I did appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
But then Taz shows up.
Well, first, Malenko, he whoops on Donnie Allen, throws him out of the ring. Yep. And then he grabs Dino Sendoff, and he's like, I'm going to kick your ass some more, too, actually. And then out comes Taz, because Jason was on the apron while this was happening, yelling for Taz to come out. And oops, here comes Taz.
Funny how that works. You call the guy out and he responds. What?
Shocked Pikachu face from Jason.
Yeah, true.
Taz actually showed up.
Hashtag Shockachu. Yeah, so we get Malenko versus Tasmaniac 2 on the spot, and all the wrestlers storm the ring again. But
not before Taz absolutely beats Dean Malenko's ass. He just suplexed him all over the place.
Taz is kind of fucking annihilated. But then the entire locker room. And Joey Styles seems very surprised and excited by this locker room emptying. And he clearly thinks it's a very unique happenstance. And he's like, oh, you don't see this kind of stuff on I haven't seen this kind of stuff on any pay-per-view in the last 2 years. I'm like, yeah, but it's on your normal TV show all the fucking time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, and he's like he's trying to hype this up. It's like a super violent, extreme moment, which that's a bit of overselling.
This was literally like we saw a bigger locker room empty out as the very first fucking clip we watched of all of ECW when we did our first episode of this arc. What are you talking about, Joey? But no, Joey's like, this is hardcore. This is extreme. Which, so the barometer here for what is hardcore and extreme, the locker room partially emptying to break up a fight between Dean Malenko and Taz. This is hardcore. This is extreme. This is wrestling. The Tommy Dreamer's kink scene and Dean Malenko like breaking the rules a little bit. This is fucking disgusting. What? How could you disrespect the dignified art of wrestling like this? That's the barometer here. I think me thinks it's a wee bit off.
Even in ECW, if you're a babyface, they let you do
You can
it.
get away with anything. And if you're a heel, you can get away with exactly Zippo.
Mm-hmm. But Joey Styles really wants these two to fight. The crowd is chanting, let them fight, like a Godzilla 2014 clip.
Oh my God.
Let them
Fucking
fight.
hell. Oh no.
But eventually the locker room is able to separate these two, and they escort Dean Malenko away. So Taz is still in the ring, and he's kind of mad. He's pacing around the ring. He's throwing chairs around. He runs into Pro Wrestling Illustrated's photographer and like tries to kick that guy's ass because he's just so frustrated. He needs to hit somebody.
Yeah, I was like, why? And Joey Styles is like, man, that's really bad PR.
Yeah, sucks for him,
you,
I guess.
Joey.
So Taz chases the PWI photographer around the ring and almost catches him, but before he can get his hands on him, Dean Malenko is back out here to continue the brawl.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like a fucking Benny Hill thing where Taz starts beating up on Joey Styles, and then the locker room not Joey Styles on Dean Malenko. The locker room empties out. They pull Malenko back. And then Taz like, fuck, who else can I hurt? And then he sees the Pro Wrestling Illustrated guy, and for some reason it's like, yeah, why not you? Sure, I get. Maybe he thought he was being photographed at unflattering angles. I don't know. Maybe he had a real bone to pick with this guy's like composition, you know. And then he chases him around the fucking ring.
Real photographer Jones over here, but I digress.
Yeah, and then Malenko's back, and then the rest of the locker room with him to follow. It's like a fucking Benny Hill skit up in here. It's great.
Just speed it up and put some funny music to it.
I unironically think that would fit really well with the Benny Hill music. It was like this hilarious cartoony back and forth and like chase scene. It's so dumb. I love it.
Probably could be. But eventually the locker room comes back out to separate them for realsies this time.
Yeah.
As the fighting continues. And then we are back with Joey Styles at the hospital. He then kind of clearly like says that this is a result of the I Quit match from our main event, which is a reminder. This match happened October the 1st, a few days prior, at their big arena show that we talked about in the front half. And so he's talking about like all the wrestlers are here, and this was a big the video's queued up, so let's just go.
Yeah.
And Tommy Dreamer's first words are, "Yeah, I'm afraid of death."
I will say, before we get into that, we had another either set of ads or another like promo or something. I can't remember exactly what it was for, but I just have a note from between the Taz Malenko thing and this of what happens when 911 gets in a bad mood.
They would do that for the Hostile City Showdown 94 show.
Yes.
And when he gets in a bad mood, he choke slams Todd Gordon.
Yeah, that's literally my note. What happens when 911 gets a bad mood? Gee, could it possibly be that he choke slams a motherfucker? Oh, look, he's choke slamming a motherfucker.
Really? He does that in any kind of mood.
I was going to say, this is like one of those shirts that takes like, it's like the mood shirts that has a whole bunch of like different moods, but it's got a famously like stoic or faceless character, and it just shows the same thing for every mood. Like it's I've seen like Darth Vader and like maybe Dwight Schrute on shirts like these, and it's like happy Darth Vader mask, sad Darth Vader mask, angry Darth Vader mask, sleepy Darth Vader. This is that, except it's just 911 choke slamming someone every time. I need that on a shirt. I think
coming to you on a Facebook ad in the near future.
Oh God! Oh no! The Facebook bots are listening right now, and I'm gonna see this exact shirt on a targeted ad in a week or two. Oh no!
Oh dear! Geez, oh God. So yes, Tommy Dreamer is cutting a promo. He's taping his wrists up for the match later, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm afraid of death," and then proceeds to say that's the only thing he's afraid of. Yeah, and he's not afraid of the Sandman. He's not afraid of an I Quit match. And he's not afraid of Sandman, and he's not going to quit. You're going to have to kill me, is what he says.
You're going to have to carry me out in a body bag. And something that you pointed out, Austin, I thought was brilliant. Is this a loophole? is Tommy Dreamer trying to like trick Sandman into murdering him because that way he will never be able to technically lose the I Quit match?
You can't quit if you're dead.
You can't say I quit if you're fucking dead. I would love to see that be the case. I don't wish anybody dead, but I would love to see that be the case for the fact that I then want to see Sandman followed around for the rest of his life, being like, so Sandman, how's that I Quit match going? Hey, Sandman, how's that goddamn
Hey, do you quit yet?
Hey, have you quit yet? And like he's just getting increasingly mad, and just one day he has a fucking mental break. He's like, fine, I fucking quit. And then at that point, the corpse of like
you quit cut to the cemetery where Tommy Dreamer is buried.
And you just see a fucking like corpse man shoot out.
Yeah.
Like and the ref comes over and is like, yeah, winner.
Raises his hand.
God. Yeah, I just think that'd be lovely.
Why didn't Lucha Underground ever do that? That clearly would be a great idea.
They're not afraid to kill people, man. You know, I think that'd be a great spot personally.
Mm-hmm.
Pure high art is what we're all about here on the Noobs and Knockouts podcast. Nothing crass, nothing over the top and dumb. Pure, well thought out art. That's what I'm saying, baby.
Yeah. So after Tommy Dreamer kind of gives his like rah, I fought so hard to get these people to like me, I'm not gonna quit. Mm-hmm. And now we get to the woman and the Sandman. The Lenny Kravitz music starts, and they do a replay of the end of the Singapore Kane bit. They got their Windows Movie Maker effects.
Yeah,
out here because they do a video effect that makes it look like a film reel.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually we cut to Woman and Sandman, and Woman cuts a whole promo that is a lot of what I was talking about in the front half of her being like, you're not going to quit. You know that, right? You can't quit. Nobody quits on me. Nobody. Yeah, I only manage the best. Nobody's ever quit on me.
The femdom vibes continue to
Sandman just sits there
real hard,
smoking a cigarette, just kind of hating everything.
He's like kneeled down too. Like seriously, I'm not. You can't entirely convince me that Woman didn't like spend her weeks like moonlighting as a professional dominatrix, because she's making Sandman like she is standing above him as she berates him in this like weirdly like self-satisfied tone. Quality motivation, but also like maybe this is just an abusive relationship too. Like this is like
could it be
this to get topical for a moment? This is like the '90s version of like Her Depp, where they're both kind of like shit and they each suck in their own special way, and we get to see glimpses of both. And people were having hot debates about who was the real abuser in the woman Sandman relationship.
Oh dear. Of note is that I know that Woman calls Sandman Mr. Man.
Mr. Man.
Yes. First name Sand.
Man. Last name Man. Yes. I love that. Sure.
That's his legal name is Sandman.
Please, Mr. Man was my father. Call me Sand.
When Anakin Skywalker in episode 2, he was talking about sand. He was talking about the Sandman.
The Sandman. I hate sand. I mean, Sandman is coarse, and
he's pretty rough.
He's coarse. He's rough, and I mean, with the fact that he likes to get his hands on you in the ring and really put you, he can't say he gets everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, Anakin Skywalker, big fan of early ECW.
Big Tommy Dreamer guy, Anakin Skywalker.
Big Tommy Dreamer guy, Anakin. You know what? That would explain. that would explain his similar level of like respect for other women as Tommy Dreamer. Like he sees like members of the Empire being like harassing like women on planets that they pillage, and then he goes on to do interviews. He's like, yeah, I really see nothing wrong with this.
He's I have a ponytail. I have a ponytail on under this helmet. That's so that people would get offended at that. My ponytail.
I mean, they're just having fun out there. The Tatooine women weren't doing anything that they didn't already ask for.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm Tom. Darth Vader is a big anti-cancel culture guy.
Yes. Yeah. No. We say some weird shit on this.
Yeah. Oh dear. How do I sell this podcast to anybody?
This is our marketing strategy. I was about to say like this is why no one listens to us, but also like this is our best fucking show. Oh no, wait! I just realized we're Vince Russoing our podcast, Austin. We're trying to get the channel flippers to like hear us say some random weird shit at any random time and be like, huh, this seems interesting. Oh god. Oh
no.
Okay.
If we're gonna sell out our podcast, I already know how to do this, because if I've learned anything from Eric Bischoff, it's that controversy creates cash. So actually AEW sucks.
No. We need to take a book, like we need to go holistic on Bischoff's approach and start projecting our own failures onto other wrestling podcasts and be like, yeah, I think that Deadlocked is too dry because they
they're not growing their audience.
I think Deadlock just recaps the whole episode of what they watch and just like kind of riffs on it throughout, and like that's your main problem, as a wrestling podcast. Like imagine what an idiot you have to be to run your podcast that way. Yeah, couldn't be us, right?
Yeah. Okay, back on topic, because oh my god, we haven't gotten this off.
On topic doesn't exist on this fucking show, dude.
Pretty rough. So I had to step away for the beginning of this match, and I came back to Tommy Dreamer having a piece of metal and stabbing Sandman in the cock with it.
Yeah. Okay. So they start off this match, and Styles is like, this is a no DQ match, and yada yada yada. And Sandman, of course, has a kendo Singapore cane. A Singapore kendo stick cane from Singapore, whatever. Fuck. And he's like, you can use weapons, you can use whatever. And Sandman's over here being like, yeah, I got my kendo stick back. I bet Tommy Dreamer's real fucking scared of it. And in waltzes Tommy Dreamer, just casually carrying a broken off piece of car, and giving Sandman like, mine is bigger than yours eyes. And Sandman's just kind of like, well, shit.
That's not a weapon. This is a weapon.
Yeah, just casually carrying off like what looks like a broken off piece of like car door and fender or something. I don't know, but it's fucking nuts. And what doubly cracked me up is that he and Sandman immediately start going at it, and they get to the outside of the ring, and the first thing Tommy does with this car part is just like weakly lob it at the Sandman, like they're on the outside, and Tommy just kind of goes, yeah, and just kind of like lightly bonks Sandman, but Sandman sells it like a champ anyway. But then he starts actually going in on the car, the piece of car. They brawl on the outside a little bit more. They get Sandman back in ring. Tommy Dreamer like starts bending the fucking metal and sets it down on the ground. Like lays Sandman down and like bends part of the like metal over Sandman's neck with like the rest of the metal like as a fucking pillow below him. Like I wasn't sure, like, or no, not over his neck, over his like forehead, and it kind of looked like he was trying to make Sandman bleed, but then didn't, whatever. And then Austin came back and he just nailed Sandman in the dick with the giant piece of scrap metal, because why the fuck not?
Yeah, he's like, do you want to quit?
And Sandman says no.
Yeah. All right. So as one who consistently complains about gimmick matches that make matches move less well than usual, it's what I talk about with last man standing matches. I talk about it with cage matches where the job is to escape the cage. It's a regular complaint that I have. And I extend this complaint to I Quit matches too, for similar reasons. The flow of the match can get broken up by regularly having a referee just kind of step in the middle and be like, hey, do you want to quit? Yeah. To this match's credit, it did not feel as intrusive as I've seen other I Quit matches be.
I would agree with that. I think it flowed pretty well because they kind of kept the action going as like you can kind of see like Tommy setting up for another spot as the ref got in Sandman's face. I will say what did crack me up was how kind of excited this ref seemed to be to like get someone to say I quit. Like he's like, hey, do you quit yet? Hey, do you quit? Let's go. Hey, he's like big golden retriever energy on this ref.
He really wants somebody to quit.
Did he quit yet? Beautiful. Yeah. So that was happening. And they bring it back to the outside, and Tommy keeps whooping Sandman's ass. Like this is for the most part, pretty fucking one-sided match. Tommy at one point grabs a fan's crutch.
And I wrote down quite a few. Let's talk about that. Is that the match, weapons-wise, was pretty much entirely provided by the fans.
Yes.
Where mostly it was with chairs. Both Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman took chairs from people, but also fans would just hold up their chairs so that the wrestlers could be thrown headfirst into them.
Oh my God, no!
Because the ECW fans are lunatics.
Yeah, no, we always talk about how like bloodthirsty the Lucha Underground audiences. This one's up there. They're up there. I mean, again, the fans of ECW, whereas like the Lucha Underground fans seem to be more of a passive bloodthirstiness of just like screaming their heads off for murder to happen.
Yep.
Credit where credit is due to ECW. They're active participants, and they are very.
They want in on the action.
They are what really cracks me up about ECW fans is that they're clearly very proud of the fact that they have all collectively figured out that, hey, metal chairs are a pretty common wrestling weapon. We have metal chairs. Wait a minute. We have wrestling weapons. They're all very proud of that fact. Again, this is the our chairs will blot out the sun audience, right?
They're very like they're all a bunch of sadists, and they are all proud of this fact.
Yeah, no. I mean, fair enough. So yeah, they just offer up their chairs for Sandman to be fucking thrown headfirst into, which is
and when that's not enough, is one fan offers up his crutch.
Yep.
To Tommy Dreamer to hit Sandman with, and then another fan brought a frying pan.
Yeah.
For Tommy Dreamer to use as a weapon.
They came equipped. You know what? That's the magic of being like a grim, gritty indie company like ECW, is they don't got no fucking metal detectors at the door. You can just bring whatever the hell you want.
They can't afford to regularly supply the weapons, so we're gonna need to have the fans bring.
Yeah, they rely on like crowdsourcing weapons for the.
It's BYOW up in here.
Paul Heyman's just over here like watching this like, oh, thank fucking God people brought shit. Oh, I was really worried about that.
I'm glad people brought a variety. I didn't want to just have to do chairs.
True. Yeah, no, he's just like turning out his empty pockets like, well, at least somebody's willing to pay for some of this shit.
Nah. But yeah, the match is very one-sided for Dreamer, and I feel like that works. Because it feels very cathartic. I think that was what they were going for this match. Is it was a cathartic moment for Dreamer to finally just destroy the Sandman for all this bullshit he's had to deal with.
Yeah, no. I mean, this is I think they kind of realize, and I wonder kind of when they realize they could have something really good on their hands with Tommy Dreamer as like top face becoming truly hardcore.
I would figure probably over the course of the storyline, considering the Lashes thing was intentionally designed for that.
Yeah. But I wonder like where, like when they decided to even give him that push in the first place, right?
True.
But yeah, this is very clearly like kind of one of the culminations of this, right? With Tommy Dreamer just getting to, after he's been dicked on by the Sandman for weeks and weeks and weeks, finally just gets all of his revenge, much to the crowd's absolute delight. Like, you've made the crowd feel for Tommy, you've made them respect the fuck out of Tommy, and now they're all in on just letting him murderize whoever the hell he wants to, starting with the motherfucker who's been making him hurt for the past little while. And
I mean, that's just classic successful wrestling booking, really.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's that's the magic of wrestling booking, is like the way wrestling booking works is like sometimes the arcs can be kind of so simplistic in kind of what they're presenting story-wise. Like, if you plot them out, it's very like, I don't necessarily want to call it like paint by numbers, but very like, this happens and this happens and this happens. One directly leads into the other. It's very clear to see. There's no ambiguity whatsoever.
Yeah.
But goddamn, I mean, I say this all the time about what makes wrestling so magical as an art form, is like, it's so visceral that it works, right? Like this is just an art form that suckers you into wanting to see somebody really hurt somebody else. And they really successfully did that with Tommy Dreamer here. He's just kicking the shit out of Sandman, and honestly, even for me, who's only been watching this for 3 episodes now, it felt really fucking good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and obviously they do let Sandman have his time to have the on offense to build back up to Tommy getting another comeback. I made note that a Sandman went for like 3 elbow drops in a row, and my man is not athletic enough to be doing top rope moves.
Fucking Joey Styles, like, he got to the top turnbuckle like a cat, and then you see Sandman fly off the top rope in the pose of a like flailing, uncoordinated orangutan.
Yeah, he's like, much respect to the Sandman.
No,
he has the same
I do respect it.
He has the same kind of athletic build as me, and he's out here trying to do like top rope moves, and it looks very bad.
It's not, again, credit where credit is due, because like, you don't imagine that Sandman would be the top rope kind of guy at all, but damn if he didn't.
He's going for it, and I can respect it, but oof,
ouch, owie.
At one point, Tommy Dreamer, he gets a big moment in the match. Is Tommy Dreamer gets a steel chair, and he puts Sandman in a pile driver and pile drives him onto the chair. And when the ref goes to ask Sandman if he wants to quit, he basically has to be woken up. Like, they sell it that he got like knocked unconscious, and all he can do is scream in pain when Dreamer does wake him up. He can't even say I quit.
So what I'm hearing is that Dreamer's just fucking kill me strategy actually legit would have worked.
It would have, but unfortunately, Sandman is able to get the upper hand again, and this time he hits Tommy Dreamer for a pile driver, and and to kind of show off, he holds Dreamer in the pile driver position and faces each side of the ring until he eventually gets to the round of the hard cam.
Yeah, no, we see that, and Austin goes, hey, Sandman, hard cam, and then he turns a little bit, because his back is facing the hard cam. Then he turns to his right, and we're like, hey, hard cam, and then he turns to the hard cam. We're like, hey,
and then he hits it, so it's like, yeah, good job, you did it.
You got there eventually, buddy.
Yeah, unfortunately, this isn't enough to put down Tommy Dreamer, and so Sandman goes and gets his cigarette. And he lights it, and then he decides, I'm going to pile drive you a second time. However, this also isn't enough. So he just is like wailing into Dreamer, trying to make him quit. And then and then here is the big turning point of the whole match and storyline.
Because let me just say, Sandman like fucking lights up, and Styles even calls it his victory cigarette, and I'm like, man, that one's a little premature, is it? Not a good portent.
Oh, it's a something, all right. It's not just premature.
Oh yeah, no, well,
but what happens is Tommy Dreamer punches back at the Sandman and knocks the cigarette into his eye, which means we can officially say, if I had a nickel for every time on this podcast we watched an episode where somebody got their eye burned out, I would have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's crazy that it's happened twice.
Yes. Yeah, I literally was like, man, the crew's over here like taking notes. Like I'm imagining the crew like, 20 years younger. They're all like childhood friends. They're all sitting around watching ECW and they're like, write that down. We're
going to remember that one.
The crew will remember that.
Yes. So he burns his eye with the cigarette, and while he's writhing on the ground in pain, woman comes in with the cane to try to interfere. Dreamer takes the cane out of her hands, and then he just swings at Sandman in the face. And the way that Joey Styles tells it is he hits the other eye with the cane.
Oh my God.
That's the way Joey sold it. And after this, that knocks Sandman down, and that is what causes him to say he quits.
Yeah.
And now after the match, we get like everybody, like Sandman is bleeding out of his eye.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
it's like a lot of blood that they show on like a thing too. I was like, man.
Yeah, everybody is freaking out about this. You got the medical personnel running down in here. You got Todd Gordon comes out to try to check on him. Tommy Dreamer is like, we'll get to it, but he is concerned as well. And like everybody is coming down to be worried about the Sandman. That is the answer to the twist, is that who went to the hospital? It was the Sandman.
Yeah, I probably should have seen that coming, like, if I was really thinking about the storyline as it were. Because I thought, like, I wonder who's in the hospital. It's Tommy Dreamer. He took it to the extreme. Ah ha ha ha. Mm-hmm. Which, like, because I heard, like, someone finally took it to the extreme, and I'm like, oh, that means Tommy Dreamer's in the hospital because he went super hard in the match and ended up having to get hospitalized, because that's the whole point of the arc, is that he's taking it to the extreme and he'll do anything to win. I probably should have seen it coming that Tommy Dreamer is not, and if he's going to get this massive push, it's not going to be the one who's going to get put away and super injured forever. But even then, like, kind of even with that perspective, like, that should have been obvious. That is kind of a clever twist to that, because I imagine a lot of people might have had that thought of like, that might be Tommy Dreamer who got sent.
I hope Tommy's all right.
Yeah, no. So we're just sitting here waiting for the inevitable, and then Tommy fucking burns out Sandman's eye, and you're like, well, shit. Oh, how the turntables.
How the table turns indeed. And I almost hate to give it away, given what the storyline was going for, but I feel like I should. It's been like 20 years. Okay. Well, it's 30 years actually, now that I think of time. Time is, the 90s were 10 years ago, right? That's how that works.
Oh yeah, yep, that's totally.
Anyway, so if last week was kind of most notable for the shooty shoot of Shane Douglas telling the NWA to kiss his ass,
fuck itself.
This week it has the work shoot of this eye injury. And by what I mean by that is they try really hard to kind of make this seem like a real injury. Like the way they it's all storyline. To be clear, he is not actually blinded. But they are playing this off as if like a real actual injury happened, and like people are breaking kayfabe because somebody actually lost a fucking eye.
Yeah, no,
and that was what they were going for.
That's funny because after this, we'll obviously get a little bit more in detail in a second, but like after this, they go and have just like a long protracted like set of shots of Sandman just getting tended to by EMS and like everyone crowding around him, and Todd Gordon finally noticing the camera and being like, get the fuck out of here. And like it had vibes of the backstage brawl for the NWA or the NWO.
I also thought reminded me of the backlot fight at Disney where they jumped everybody. Long waits for the hospital for the ambulance too.
Yeah, I don't think it was as egregious, but still. No. But yeah, no, this would have been after WCW did that, right?
Well before. That was 96. This is 94. NWO's 96.
ECW did it first? What the fuck?
Yep. That's how it goes for many things in the 90s. ECW did it first.
Oh shit. Damn, I guess they were the fucking pioneer. So also Eric Bischoff is over here being like, write that down.
Oh, definitely. But
God damn. Well, brilliant that. Even more brilliant that because like I guess work shoots like that, especially like around the breaking of kayfabe, like even 2 years prior to when WCW did it, probably would have been even more murky. So that's fun.
Yeah, they're like it's absolutely the perfect time period to kind of like try to trick even the people who know it's fake, which is absolutely the kind of people who were watching ECW. You know, they had a hardcore audience.
Yeah.
They would know, they know what's up here.
The huge nerds, right? Yeah.
The huge nerds, they know what's going on. But yeah, I think this is the perfect era of time to be able to kind of do this kind of storyline and story beat and kind of maybe even convince people this is real.
Mm-hmm.
I think I bring up all this work shoot stuff to kind of as a way to compliment how I thought it did a really good job at that element of it.
I would agree.
Feeling like a real thing is going on, not just a fake wrestling injury.
I would agree. And like I did praise I know you and I disagree on this, like, but I praised like how long and protracted the backlot stuff was for the NWO, because like them just continually focusing on it like helped drive home how real it felt. This being done first and a little earlier when this would have been even more murky, it has the benefit of not needing to linger on that for super long to kind of fuck with the audience on that one.
Yeah, like the fact that it's like you have stuff like Todd Gordon telling the cameras to go away, or you have like Tommy Dreamer. Let's just go ahead and go into like what kind of happens backstage.
Absolutely.
And to talk about this is that like we go backstage and woman is having to be restrained because she is just going off on Tommy Dreamer for this. And Tommy Dreamer, to his credit, is like, he is apologizing. And he's like, I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to do that. I'm sorry. And like, but she's freaking out. At one point, somebody calls her Nancy. And I was like, whoa.
Oh shit. I didn't even catch that.
It wasn't a big moment, no, but somebody just in the background calls her Nancy.
Honestly, that being subtle like adds to it though.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. It really gives off this impression of like, oh shit, something that wasn't meant to happen happened.
Yeah.
And ECW are just a bunch of carny fucks who decided to film it for content.
Yeah, and credit is due too. Like everyone acted it well. Like nothing felt ham-fisted or forced or anything.
No.
Todd
it felt
job.
like it did feel pretty real. Like Tommy Dreamer felt apologetic. Like woman, like you're supposed to believe that they are like if we're supposed to pretend this is out of kayfabe, this is all happening. Like she works together with Sandman, so I would assume she would care if like Sandman's eye got burnt out.
Yeah. Now the question is, like, you know, they work shoot this shit. Is that going to have an effect on how Woman treats Sandman going forward? Like, are they going to carry it forward to be like Woman being like just pissed at Tommy and being completely sympathetic to her man TM, or is she going to be very fair and balanced TM about C and R? Pardon me. To Sandman about like. How could you let him do this to you? Must I do everything myself around here? You absolute failure.
Yeah, I guess
we'll see Woman doing that.
We'll see because we have a couple more episodes of this to go. Yeah,
loser.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes. But Todd Gordon is like he's like standing over Sandman, they have like his eye like all like toweled up and it's bleeding to kind of hide his eye.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Todd Gordon be like, "Don't worry, brother. We're gonna ambulance here real soon. Don't you just hang. You stay awake. You don't fall asleep now." And at some point, he notices the cameras are filming, and it's like it's kind of funny he somehow didn't notice that. Like they've been here the whole time, and they're getting real close.
I'm pretty sure he pushed past them to get to Tom. I thought I'm pretty sure he arrived like later on the scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then like notice it, but like, did you not see them there already? Whatever. Don't think about it too hard.
Whatever. And then they're like, you got the whole people, like the camera crew is still trying to film stuff, but then you get like a series of people between like Todd Gordon, you got one of the wrestlers. I didn't get a good glimpse of who did it. And then like the referees, they're like pushing their camera back, like, "Hey, get out of here. Get out of here." They're like literally taking their hands and covering the camera as if they're trying to actually stop these people from filming.
Yeah. He really he really tries to play it off as this is not something that needs to be filmed. Now, of course, they still put it to air. Again, Carney fucks. But
but they're trying to create the idea that like this is a real thing going on right now. This isn't some storyline bullshit. So like, get the cameras out of here.
Which I don't even think WCW fully did when they did the
they did not do that. In the backlot brawl, they never were like, "Hey dudes, this is like real shit. Get the cameras out of here."
Yeah, no. So and the thing is, doing that so soon after you did a real honest to God shoot on your show, like again, great little way to blur the lines. This is a brilliant spot right here, and like, you know, it was far from like the greatest all-timer match you've ever seen, but like the story implications of all of this were phenomenal.
Yeah, this is we're kind of at the second half of this storyline when you really of like, because arguably the first half is a very simplistic, like Tommy Dreamer came to help Tommy Cairo, got in Sandman's way, and then they're just beating the shit out of each other for a while. They got the cane thing. And this is the big culmination of that. And the match primarily was a culmination of that bit of Tommy Dreamer getting revenge. But the match ends setting up the next beat of the story. Sandman got his eye burnt off in the middle now. And now Tommy's like, I didn't mean to.
Yeah. But really, this is the only way that like, this feels like the most appropriate way for like an ECW blood feud to like culminate, is someone getting honest to God legitimately super hurt. And you know, you play it's still a work at the end of the day, but like playing it as like this is kind of like the end, or at least an end, like a benchmark point of this feud makes a lot of sense for this specific company. It's the kind of thing that you know, this company would like really think to go to at the time, I think. And again, credit where credit is due to Paul Heyman. Man's a fucking creative genius when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, good shit. And so Joey Styles signs us off from the hospital. He mentions it basically. He explains what the injury is said to be, and the injury is said that one of Sandman's eyes is swollen shut, presumably the one that got hit with the cane, because the other one is said to have been torn off, and he is not sure how deep the injury. He is not sure how deep the eye injury goes, whether it goes down to like the cornea or like anything like deep in the eye. He just knows that like the skin front of the eye is burnt off. And also, and to keep credit to that is like just the right amount of realistic if we're going to talk about these injury. You know, like it's realistic to like, I got my eye burnt by a cigarette, but it's not so extreme and ridiculous that it would be like, yeah, okay, this is definitely fake.
Yeah, and that you have to find some way to like carry that forward with like giving one of your workers a kayfabe like major impediment. Just
he's got to wrestle with an eye patch the rest of his life.
Just the rest of his fucking career.
No, it's an obviously serious injury, getting your eyelid burnt off. Yeah, but it's not like it's not so clearly extreme and would be career threatening that you would have to that it's easy to be like, okay, yes, this is all fake.
Yeah, imagine them.
This is a bit.
Imagine ECW in the 90s handling medical realism for this shit better than the fucking fake EMT from the Mae Young birth in 2000. Like,
hey man, that was a heck of a time.
clearly.
Mae Young, a geriatric woman, giving birth in a solid 10 minutes.
Well, even just like the EMT being like, she's not gonna make it to the hospital. Blah, blah, blah. Like it's so.
How do you know that? I said then. How would you know that?
Like that childbirth, which is a far more common thing to happen. Like that was so much less legit. Like that felt so much less medically legit at all than the pseudoscience they pulled out of their ass for the eye getting burnt out. Like, goddamn, ECW just really does it all better, huh?
ECW just built different.
Just built fucking different.
So yeah, that is we're again. This is the halfway point of this arc. We got 2 episodes left on this arc. If the eye burnt off thing didn't happen, we could arguably end it right here. Could have ended on this match, but we still got another leg to go.
There is fallout to be had.
Yep.
Oh.
Overall, the episode was pretty thin on content.
Yeah,
because I mean that happens sometimes in ECW. Yeah.
We managed to push the back half to an hour. I'm fucking impressed with us.
I've talked about it before. Is that it's just the way ECW was structured, television wise. Is they have to push a lot of their own. There's only so much content they can afford to make, so they have to stretch sometimes.
Yeah.
And if I had been watching at the time, I probably wouldn't be bugged by it. But it's only really a problem 30 years later watching this in binge form that I see how thin this content is, and I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, no. See, I feel like I would be kind of if this was my weekly wrestling, I'd be kind of bugged by the fact that I just have to spend half the time once a week just watching recap of shit I've already seen for the past several months. But they're slowly improving. They're showing fucking they're showing cards on the show, promoting cards both present and future. So they got more and more to build up to from here. It's just gonna take a hot second.
Yeah. So that is it for this episode of ECW Hardcore TV. But next time on our podcast, we shall return to Lucha Underground as we will now we're going to reach another milestone episode of season 1 that people always hype up. And this is a little bit of spoilers to mention it because they haven't brought it up on Lucha Underground TV before, but I think it's fine to go ahead and say it, is that we will be watching Johnny Mundo versus Prince Puma for the Lucha Underground Championship in an all-night long match.
Oh shit, that's gonna be dope.
Yep, it is. But until then, as for next time, until then, David, hit our plugs.
Yes, sir. My friends, my dear friends, thank you so much for joining us for yet another episode of the Noobs and Knockouts podcast. Thank you so much for being here. If you're a returning listener, viewer, what have you, thank you. You know the drill. Thank you for once again welcoming us back into your eardrums, eyeballs, whatever it is you use to consume our content. We're just delighted to have you here. You know how it is. First time listeners, viewers, what have you. Hi, how you doing? Welcome. We are so delighted to have you here. We here at the Noobs and Knockouts podcast like to think we are friendly to both noobs and knockouts alike. So whether you are brand new to this whole wrestling thing or a veteran of the wild, wacky world of wrestling TM, either way, we hope you've had a great time here. We hope you want to come back continually to have a good time more and more with words. Please come back and consume our show more.
They're gone.
If you would like to continue to join us week after week and you're not entirely sure how to do so, not to worry, my friends, I have you covered. First of all, you can find us on YouTube. We are the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on YouTube. Hit subscribe, ring that bell, make sure it turns a nice little solid color so you get notifications every single time we drop a new episode. give us that sweet interaction, add us to your playlist, or check out our playlist. Austin has been kind enough to organize all of the like arcs and eras and storylines that we follow into their own separate playlists. So if you want to like follow a specific thing, you can check those out without having to do a whole lot of jumping around. And hey, on our more recent episodes, you can actually like see our lovely faces and our brand new HUD and all the little visual gags that we hide in here for the people who bother to look at us. You know, so
this week I flop around like Sandman off the top rope.
Yes, it was beautiful. Audio only listeners, you know, just saying, you might not, you might want to, you know, consider checking out what you're missing out on. Anyway, but regardless, if you are a stickler for the audio only version, we perfectly understand. You can find us on 3 of the best places to find your podcast, and that would be Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Come check us out there. Give us those listens and downloads and ratings and reviews. We appreciate it all. Come listen to us there. Noobs and Knockouts Podcast on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. And then, of course, past that, we have kind of our social media if you want to get in more direct contact with us. First and foremost, is our Twitter. We are at Noobs and KnoxPod on Twitter. That's Noobs, the letter N, KnoxPod on Twitter. Come check us out there. We're doing all the Twitter stuff. Discourse and memes, and we post every single time we drop a brand new episode, so you guys know what the hell's going on. And of course, the highlight of our Twitter is weekly wrestling live tweeting. My friend, what is on the docket coming up?
Yep, so AEW Dynamite every single week, 8 p.m. Eastern on TBS on Wednesday nights. You know what that means, is consistently me and David both watch AEW live, so we're at least one of us usually live tweeting Dynamite. But in addition to that, I will keep up with AEW, WWE, and Impact Wrestling pay-per-views. When I get an opportunity, I will live tweet those. So upcoming on that is AEW is Double or Nothing, their 3-year anniversary pay-per-view. Wild. And so far, we got quite a few good matches on that card. We got Hangman Adam Page versus CM Punk for the AEW World Title. Serena Deeb versus Thunder Rosa for the Women's World Championship. The Men's Owen Hart Cup and Women's Owen Hart Cup Tournament Finals. And of course, already announced for the pre-show will be Hookhausen, the best gay wrestling couple going today, versus Tony Nese and Tony Nese's lawyer, smart Mark Sterling.
Yes, so fucking good.
Gonna be going. That is May 29th. On June 5th for WWE, we have Hell in a Cell, or the TV PG appropriate name, of course, Heck in a Sec.
My favorite, personally.
We have, in fact, no matches yet announced for Hell in a Cell, so hold your horses on that one. And then on June 19th is Impact Wrestling Slammiversary, their 20th anniversary show. We already are set to have Josh Alexander, the current Impact World Champion, one of the best wrestlers in the world today, taking on Eric Young, an Impact original. We've seen him on this show already.
Ooh.
We'll also have an Ultimate X match in the Impact X Division match. And the very first ever Queen of the Mountain match for the Impact Knockouts World Championship. Now, the Queen of the Mountain match is a name of the King of the Mountain match. All right. Here is how the King of the Mountain match works. Are you ready for this? I'm very excited to get to talk about this on air. This was an invent. I believe Jeff Jarrett came up with this concept, or at least he dominated it. So basically, you get 5 wrestlers in a match. It is a ladder match, except you're not immediately able to win the ladder match. You have to become eligible to win. And you become eligible to win by pinning or submitting another wrestler in the match. And okay. And if you've been pinned or submitted, you have to sit in the penalty box for 2 minutes before you can come back in the match. So it's a ladder match where you first have to pin somebody to win. And if you get pinned at some point, you have to sit in a box for 2 minutes.
What the fuck?
King of the Mountain.
So wild.
It is nuts.
That's kind of dope, honestly.
But this is the first ever version with women in it, so it will be Queen of the Mountain. And I'm sure other matches will be announced as time goes on.
Hell yeah. So be sure to check all that out. It's a great time over on the Twitter. You know, if you listen to this podcast, then you somehow find Austin and me entertaining enough to consume wrestling with. And, you know, we carry that over there. We're Austin and I, we do our shit posting and our analysis and our whatever else. Just come hang out with us over there. It's a great time. Of course, for the super direct contact with us to have more long form discussion, as it were, you can hit us up at our email address. We have an email address at noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. That's noobs, the word and this time, knockoutspod@gmail.com. Come say hi to us there. Give us input on the show. Things you like, don't like, want to see more of, less of. Requests for any kind of like wrestling media or arcs or anything you want us to check out. We're more than happy to listen to those. Or, you know, come yell at us for our hot takes or tell us how fucking brilliant our insights are or how our dulcet tones lull you to sleep every night. Yada yada. You know the drill. Just come say hi. We would love to say hi back. noobsandknockoutspod@gmail.com. And finally, of course, there's our Patreon. We are also the Noobs and Knockouts podcast on Patreon. $1 a month gets you early access to episodes and a shout out at the end of each episode. And very exciting, we have our first ever patron to shout out over on the Patreon.
Oh dear.
Shout out to our one tier friend of the show, Sugar Daddy Kyle Smith, for subscribing. We appreciate you so
Did he
much.
tell you to say that too? Or did you come up with that one on your own?
That was the name he put on the Patreon.
Of course it is.
So thank you so much, friend of the show, Kyle.
I'm not calling him Sugar Daddy. You're gonna have to take that one yourself.
Hey, that's why I do the plugs, my man. I hope you enjoy your perks, my man. And hey, if you want to enjoy your perks along with our friend Kyle, come check us out on that Patreon. Until then, catch you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
Hasta luego.